Here's another weak excuse for the existence of evil.
Did God create evil? Well, Judeo-Christian theology teaches that God made all things. Now, many people conclude then that if God made everything, then God made evil. And if God made evil, then that would make God evil. But that thinking is based on a mistaken premise. That is, it presumes that evil is a thing.
I guess this guy subscribes to Augustine's idea that evil is a privation. The reasoning behind this is that existence is inherently good, therefore it would be a contradiction to say that evil exists, because you'd be saying that evil has some goodness to it.
So let me clarify. Evil is something, but it's not something.
Okay, now I'm more confused.
Now you're probably thinking, well, how does that clarify anything, right? Well, here's what I mean by that. Evil is something, but it's not a thing. It's not stuff. It's not made up of atoms. It's not made up of molecules. It's not made up of matter, right? It's not some cosmic goo that contaminates things. It's not the lint that gets caught in your belly button. You can't buy it at a store. You can't put it in your pocket. You can't flick it at a friend, right? Now, as I said, although evil is not a thing, it is something. And here's what I mean by that. Evil is a privation of good.
I really don't see how a privation is a thing.
It is the absence of good. Okay, so let me offer an illustration. What is a donut hole? You might be thinking those are those, warm, sugary, soft things that we eat. They're super good. But that's not what I'm referring to. A donut hole is simply the place where there is no donut.
It's a space, but that's not analogous to a privation because space is an entity and a privation is not.
Okay, it's not a happy place. I don't want to be there. Or how about this? What is a shadow? Well, it's the place where there is no light. Or what is coldness? Well, it's the place where there is no heat. Notice each of these things is defined not by what they are, but by what they are not. And so evil in the same way is not defined by what it is, but by what it is not. It is the absence of good. Evil results when goodness is missing.
How can goodness be missing from anywhere if a perfect omnipresent God exists?
And philosopher William Dembski puts it this way. He says, evil always parasitizes the good. Indeed, all our words for evil presuppose a good that has been perverted. Impurity presupposes purity.
Well, yeah, but the reverse is also true. All concepts imply the existence of contrary concepts. Otherwise, there would be no way to distinguish any idea from any other.
Unrighteousness presupposes righteousness. Deviation presupposes a way from which we've departed. Sin, the Greek word hamartia, presupposes a target that was missed, and so on. So therefore, evil is not a thing, and therefore God can't be responsible for creating it.
This assumes that one can never be held responsible for privations. This is obviously not the case. If one neglects to perform one's duties, the inoccurrence of that performance is not a thing in the same sense as a privation is not a thing. In a sense, you didn't create the inoccurrence of the performance of your duty, but can you therefore say you are not responsible for it? If evil exists because Yahweh simply neglects to put good everywhere, then I don't see why it would not be perfectly sensible to say that it is his fault. I don't know if you've heard, but I do have a Patreon.